Hey, brothers and sisters, how are you today? Um, I've created two videos already, which I will explain everything, what's really going on. Sorry about the dogs. Let's continue now with my point of view. Is China corruption crackdown? Is China's corruption China? Okay, let me go back to the topic. We have some nice topics today. China's corruption crackdown, also here in Curacao at the Chinese consulate, has begun. Yeah, okay. Let me just explain um, the situation on the island of Curacao, and for us all to see together what's going on. Um, as you already know, um, we now know how the complete structure is integrated as the corruption of these fallen angels, how they interact with each other using government banks and all these systems they have. Okay, so as I said, um, I have informed the Chinese government. You have to understand that not everything is bad. You have good people, good organizations, but you have also corrupted ones that are being controlled by these fallen angels. Okay, um, what I'm saying with fallen angel, meaning people that doing not the correct thing by helping another brother, because we all angels. Yeah, that is true. But we have to help each other. Okay, so using my abilities and the things I have created in their system for me to trace them back, I have then used that to our advantage to expose the corruption of the Chinese government's systems. They have certain people working in the Chinese government which is not complying with demand of the Chinese government. See, as the ladies just told me everything about the how the organization structure is, she said to me there are many levels. So that means that there are many groups, good and bad, working, doing their thing. Okay, so that means now in Curacao, as I said, I'm using this as the first example where I am. I don't know, all worldwide we have the same problem. But here we have the issue and documentation and proof it is happening here on the island, and I'm addressing it for the governments of the world so they can address it to all their embassy and consulates and all these organizations systems which are basically part of the government. Let's say the government system like the IRS, all these systems that they have, they're integrated for us to use to control us as enslaved people, so for enslavement system. Okay, so that means they can change and do anything they like and against you. So as I said, um, I work for the government here in Curacao. My records don't show I never existed. I never worked. They see so they can do anything they like with you. Good thing about it is now with this what I did to the Chinese government, because we have had contact. I had contact with the Chinese government and the intelligence services. So we were doing business as each other, helping each other about what the situation is go ongoing, and you're trying to find a solution with the Chinese government by giving them intel and making an agreement how we're going to do things together. So the Chinese government signing documents and sending things over, working in the environment where they have also corrupted Chinese. So you have to always try to stay in the light, meaning in doing good things, not corruption. Because if you do agreement with somebody, we have to sign documents and do things together. That's what we did. We signed documents, agreements, and the Chinese government gave me a proposal. That's the Chinese government, and they have a seal and everything. We spoke on the phone. We have agreement, and they have my number and my phone, so they will be tapping my information any place I go. I'll be being monitored by the Chinese government. Okay, so that means now we have on the island, you have the bankers, you have the Dutch government, you have the American consulate, you have all these groups working in between themselves as, let's say, from the following groups. they are interchanging with themselves doing business. They call it business. It's mafia, laundering, bribery, child trafficking. All these business for them is business. Okay, so if you're doing good things and with the Chinese government and you have these, let's say, like at the consulate, you have to go, they have to contact you. They don't do it. The Chinese government doesn't know everything because he has so many people working outside for the Chinese government. Now, how can you control all these organizations? Same locally with the Curacao government. How can you control everything? These politicians, the bankers, and all these organizations where they give you passports and documents and land deeds and everything is being controlled by the same mafia group. Okay. So that means there is a group of mafia doing business and controlling everything the way they want it all over the world. Here in the island, the same. Okay. So now it's the Chinese. Okay, as I said, it's not all the Chinese are bad. The Chinese government knows about this, but it has to get the information to follow through on that to get these people. Okay, so as I went deeper, now it's very funny because today I got the call of the lady of the government agency. She said to me that 2015 I was not on the island, and she said to me she cannot remove it because that was she was been told by somebody in the government that that has to stay. Okay, that's perfect. I love that. You know why? That is my evidence that's corruption going on in the government, and that's for the Chinese government. That is very important because it shows that the Curacao government system is very corrupt. Because I was on the phone with them, and they know when I came, and they know what I went through on the island. They know everything because I have contact with them through my phone. So that means the Curacao government of Crackdown, you call it Crackdown, call it where you register yourself when you come in and you're born and everything. So the registry department of Curacao is corrupt, very corrupt. They create documents, the same in the States, for illegal and doing all these things for payments for the mafia. The mafia gang tells them what to do, and they create papers and documents for all the illegal people that they use for human trafficking. So we know that. So the Chinese government knows this now because I went there and I did the connection because by going inside and talking to them, they now have evidence that the consulate of China is corrupt. The politicians on the island of Curacao are corrupt. The bankers on the island are corrupt. See, that is the problem. They want to enslave everybody and doing all these corrupted things, and people thinking that people will never catch them. See, the consulate, the two ladies even said they don't work for the Chinese government. They work for mafias. So, so now all the institutions, even I saying that I'm working for the NSA or for the FBI because I knew my phone was tapped, they were not scared, but they didn't want to give me the name. That's good. But now today we have a case of the U.S. The Dutch government has a case against certain people that they were selling passport and IDs for these Chinese, and now they have a case against the consulate of China. See, because of corruption. Now the problem is this was long ago was ongoing. What's going on now that now they're doing that is because the pressure, everything's coming out. You see what I mean, brothers and sisters? So everything what I did, the evidence that the Chinese have, government have, they know everything about myself. How we everything I did on the island and what they did against me, they have everything. They know the China, the U.S., the Curacao government is corrupt. They know the politicians. They also tap the telephones. So you see what I mean? Okay. So now, because of what I did 2 days ago, going there, that is the evidence to go in now and get them all because you know they're corrupt. But after when they go in, see, they probably has going to give the Dutch government the instructions. Um, the U.S. government is going to give the Dutch government the instructions. The Russian government is going to give instruction to the Dutch government to start arresting or doing the investigation. You know, because the Dutch government, have been watching me every day. They know also that they did wrong because they know who I am, what I went through. They know everything where I went because they also tapping my phone. But why I didn't do nothing? Because now I went to a higher source. Now they scared. The Dutch government is scared because you know you had to do that. You knew about the illegalities going on the island and you didn't do nothing about it. Nothing about it. So that means now we have justice. See, because the Chinese are not going to allow this. The Chinese, as you said, I'm going to be serious with you by Chinese government and people. They're very good people. See, I can't explain it to you now. They're how very nice and gentle people they are. And if you do things against it to give them a bad name, they don't like that. It's very important for you all to understand. See, they're not going to allow this to happen, that certain groups are giving them a bad name. It's very important. Also, the people in Curacao, those politicians who sold their soul and help these people don't know the consequences, what's going to happen to them because they did something with this Chinese group. See, the Chinese laws are very strict. I'll be honest with all of you. Yes, we have, their ways. So that's why I'm showing this to all of you. Now, my point of view, what I'm seeing, what I went through, I'm just giving information. Things are going to happen to everybody who war with the Chinese government, playing these things with in fake passports, documentation, stealing people's land and deeds and everything. You understand, my brothers and sisters? So this video now is going on now for all these other Chinese consulate to know what's going on the island, for them to know also that they're being watched and they can have to change their ways. It don't make any sense to be captured. It don't make any sense. See what I mean, brothers and sisters? So that's why now I'm creating this video and for the intel, because I went to the U.S. consulate also, give the same information. They also corrupt. They also corrupt. Because if something is yours or you need to help humanity, you need to do your thing, what you were told by your leader, which is, or it's going to be Donald Trump or Putin or Xi Jinping. You need to obey and do what you were told and what's is good for humanity, and not what you think is good doing your own business. See, that's what's going on. You're in the island, everything is sold and taken by the Chinese as nothing happened because this was a group of mafias, Chinese ruling the island, and they're the ones fighting against the government of China, even the government of China, because they use local people. See what I mean, brothers and sisters? So this is basically my point of view. I'm happy because now with this video, I have proof that things they know already about the Chinese consulate being investigation, and now they're going to go deep and go through all these other hands of the octopus, because it's like an octopus. They have different hands in the organization of the mafia. So you have to go in. See, and everything is going to see if they start arresting politicians or these big people behind the scenes. That's what's going to happen because they're going to talk. Because Chinese don't play around, Russians don't play around also, and now the Americans also pressing also the same thing in the States. Donald Trump is doing the same thing. Xi Jinping putting the same thing with these mafia groups operating the world, doing their thing, which are not possible anymore. Okay. The other issue is also now I cannot show you. I'm going to create a video about it. The nitric acid. There's no gold. So I contacted the Chinese and said, listen, let's explode this and tell people there's no gold. Okay? And that you guys are having, you know how to create gold in massive quantity. Simple. Okay? So my brothers and sisters, let's continue with the videos and I'll explain you everything. But that way, bro.